Hello and welcome to National Focus for Wednesday, August 14, 2024. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, budgetary allocation for health indicates government's prioritizing of that sector. Prime Minister Skerrit highlights impact of consumer choice on the agriculture sector. And Police Week 2024 to focus on embracing community partnership. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Ride safe, wear a helmet, safer roads in the nature aisle. This message was brought to you by the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Welcome back. Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is expressing concern about the impact of the consumption patterns of the Dominican consumer on the agriculture sector. Agriculture in Dominica is completely subsidized, with the majority of implements and agricultural supplies duty-free, VAT-free and excise tax-free. Government has also made financing available at the Aid Bank at 2% and 3% interest. The Prime Minister says while government remains a major investor in agriculture, it's now left to the private sector to step up.
And the private sector also must become greater consumers of goods and services, of agricultural produce. But for the private sector to sell more, we have to demand and we have to buy more. We have a power as consumers. People like to talk about what government is doing in agriculture, whether it's in St. Vincent or Grenada or St. Lucia or Dominica. But what are we doing to help farmers? Are we conscious that when we go to the supermarkets, that we ask for locally produced agricultural items and processed goods here in Dominica or the OECS? Do we ask for those things?
The Prime Minister says it's a demand and supply issue, and if consumers demand local goods, they will be supplied. He says fast food, which has become a way of life for many people, does have some real negative consequences.
It is easy to go in the drive-thru, right? And you press a button and you order your food and you drive 2 seconds, they put it in a bag for you, hand over to you, and you park on the roadside and you eat it. And we go to the schools and the children have box drink. They say 100% juice, but 100% water, 100% sugar. There's no vitamin C in this.
He says choosing to consume imported products does not help the local farmer.
Instead of helping the local farmer who is producing chicken, we buy these things called drumettes or buffalo wings, whatever they call it. And it's not buffalo wing anyway. Yeah? And instead of having bananas and the local sea grapes, we have grapes imported from countries we don't even know. And then we did not properly wash these things, and we create health problems.
The Prime Minister says the school feeding program, hospitals and the prison system should all be supplied with healthier food. The government of Dominica continues to make major investments in the country's health sector. In the 2024-2025 national budget estimates, the allotted $81 million for the Ministry of Health clearly demonstrates government's prioritization of that sector. The Dominica-China Friendship Hospital is at the center of major investments in the modernization of healthcare delivery on the island.
In the last year, we have looked at improving the departments, and we have hired new administrators. And we have departments like dialysis, that work efficiently. We have patients who get their care, there's no complaint. We have oncology. We had Dr. Calendar, who's basically volunteered. She's a retired Dominican oncologist, and that has been working well. And most recently, neonatal, we have saved some premature babies who would normally have not made it. So a lot of good things are happening, and we're optimistic that in the future we will get a handle of the systemic delivery of care.
Unlike what obtained in the past with the PMH, a critical change has taken place in the management structure of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital.
One of the things the board have been doing, because people have to realize that this hospital has been run for 50 years by itself. So there's been no management. The Ministry of Health ran this hospital, but they don't tell. So who's charged? Decisions, if they need supply, it must go to ministry to sign off and stuff like that. That is an improvement, because with DHA, we do all of those things. We manage the hospital on site.
Another positive change which is scheduled to be rolled out next year will be the transfer of the management of all employees from the DCFH to the Dominica Hospitals Authority.
And that has not been done. That has been postponed. So that is the next step, where you will have, we believe that if we are in charge of the human resource, we can better manage the resource. So we are optimistic that that will happen next year.
One of the key features of this new hospital is its capability with state-of-the-art medical technology, upgrading by leaps and bounds the quality of healthcare delivery.
Most recently, the Prime Minister himself resourced equipment for us totaling about $4 million from Dubai, from the Middle East. And those include ultrasound machines, anesthesia machines, orthopedic operating tables, ventilators, surgical operating tables, chemistry analyzers, autoclaves, blood bank refrigerators, medicine refrigerators, defibrillators, patient beds, blood collection chairs, microscopes, ultrasonic nebulizer, patient monitor, wall-mounted, operating room tables, and a number of other things, including ventilators. We also have equipment that we purchased this year, including washers and dryers, and industrial washers and dryers, steam sterilizers, and ultrasound machines.
With the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, Dominicans now have access to advanced care in treating head injuries.
We also had a head clamp for neurosurgery, because we have had a neurosurgeon, and because as you know, there are quite a lot of the head injuries with the bikers, so we have a new colonoscope, endoscope, and those are critical in the 21st century for delivering quality care to the patients.
Government's investments in the hospital is complemented by overseas assistance.
The government has invested a lot of funding into those equipment in the hospital, and we are fortunate enough. We've also gotten help from PAHO. PAHO has donated ventilators to us, and Direct Relief, which is the Bill Clinton company, they have also donated ventilators. And people understand that ventilators were important, because during COVID, we had about, for people to survive, you need to put them on ventilators. So that was critical.
The Dominica China Friendship Hospital currently operates 7 theaters and is currently finalizing funding for an additional one at the Accident and Emergency Department. You are watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. As the first ever OECS Youth in Agriculture Symposium concluded last week in Dominica, regional and international agricultural organizations reaffirmed their commitments to continue to support sustainable agriculture.
This symposium marks the beginning of a new chapter, one where we must continue to foster collaboration, support innovation, and empower our youth to take the reins of the agricultural sector. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture is committed to supporting these efforts, providing the necessary resources, training, and guidance to ensure that our young agripreneurs can thrive and lead the way towards a more prosperous and sustainable agricultural future.
The OECS Youth in Agriculture Symposium was the first component in the development of the Youth in Agriculture program as part of the Food and Agriculture Systems Transformation Strategy to engage youth and the OECS Council of Ministers. Honorable Dr. Irving McIntyre represented Prime Minister Skerrit at the closing ceremony of the landmark event.
Prime Minister Skerrit sends his congratulations on a successful symposium and his wish for your continued development as young farmers and agro-processors within our sub-region. I also wish to commend the OECS Secretary General, Dr. Didacus Jules, the OECS Secretariat, and Dominica's Ministry of Agriculture for the successful execution of this three-day symposium, which has come at such a crucial time for Dominica and our region.
A number of key challenges were discussed with stakeholders reflecting the theme of the symposium.
From a regional perspective, we recognize the importance of bolstering our agricultural sector to better withstand the negative impacts of severe weather and global economic challenges. This symposium has reflected our shared commitment to empowering the next generation of agricultural leaders to overcome the challenges associated with climate change, trade barriers, and interregional transport, which affects our productivity and export capacity. The theme for our symposium, Growing the Future and Harvesting Dreams, captured our goals as regional leaders to inspire, educate, and motivate young people to take their place in a sector that can strengthen our communities and drive economic growth across our region.
Dominica remains committed to strengthening food production and regional food security.
Here in Dominica, we remain committed to advancing agriculture in the OECS region, and food security is a major consideration in our decision-making and policy development. As you probably heard in the past days, that we have set ambitious goals for the future of agriculture, aiming to increase agricultural contribution to GDP to $700 million by 2030, and complementing our efforts to build climate resilience as well. We are focused on boosting production, enhancing agro-processing capabilities, and expanding our market to reach both locally and internationally.
OECS Youth in Agriculture Symposium was held on August 7 to 9, 2024 in Roseau. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs, Ms. Joanne Commodore, is anticipating a unique opportunity to strengthen relations between the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force and communities as the 2024 Police Week celebrations draw closer. She expressed hope for the activities at the launch held earlier this month.
It is my hope that the theme Embracing Communities, Building Partnerships for a Better Tomorrow can be put into action. The role of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force remains an ever-changing one, constantly underpinned by the core principles of protecting, serving, and ensuring safety and security. The multifaceted nature of policing often leads to an emphasis on the more formal and military side of policing. However, we often forget the more dynamic and softer role, so to speak, of the police as our neighbors, our friends, our peacemakers, and those who will fight for our rights with and for us.
The CDPF plays an integral role in public safety, security, and community policing.
Community policing also pertains to the organizational strategies that promote and support the systematic use of partnerships and problem-solving techniques to proactively address the immediate conditions that give rise to public safety issues, such as crime, social disorder, and fear of crime, etc. This means that when we held meetings in Tarish Peak, Bath Estate, Grand Bay, and we held our first meeting in Point Michelle, these meetings and the goals that we are trying to achieve in these communities, they are not detached from the goals and aims of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force as an organization.
Police Week 2024 will set a foundation for continued expansion of community policing across Dominica.
Police Week will set the stage for increasing the focus on this very important area. I want to commend the police for putting together the week of activities for Police Week, and you will see me there. And I want to urge every police officer to take part in this year's Police Week.
Police Week 2024 is scheduled for September 29 to October 5, 2024. Coming up next, the Creole News Highlights with Jenno Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel en créole, nom moi c'est Jenno Jacob. Premier ministre Dominique Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit cautionné contre production manger agricole et des gouvernements qui ont planté et puis équipement, celle pour manger et puis duty free à sous voiture. Peut-être pas qu'à payer pour VAT ça c'est et puis pour taxes aussi. Et des secteurs publics ni pour vendre planter aussi. Et des moun s'attaper autant produits agricoles locaux, moun pour gagner un produit local pour vendre planter et puis économie Dominique. Et des school feeding programme, prison et puis l'hôpital, c'est pour taper manger agricole qui fouille. Si même police qui couru de septembre 29 pour octobre 5 2024, il y a autant d'activités pour semaine ça là. Police important pour sécurité moun Dominique. Police qui a continué relations publiques et puis moun Dominique. Nous qui menons plus à ce nouvel en créole, à ce d'autres nouvelles pour venir. Le gouvernement Dominique a travaillé pour faire certains qui moun Dominique en bonne santé. Le gouvernement a bâti et puis ranger autant l'hôpital. L'hôpital n'a équipement et puis kaba moun bon service. L'hôpital Dominica China Friendship, ça c'est centre tout l'hôpital Dominique. L'hôpital là kaba bon service en affaires santé. Nous parlons et puis chef exécutif de l'hôpital Dominica China Friendship, Dr. Donald Peters, contre équipement l'hôpital l'année. Il dit qu'il a mis un système en place pour faire service à la meilleure.
Nous, Dominica Hospital Authority, avons tout à ça et bien mettre un système en place. So, les gens viennent ici, à l'hôpital, nous que même pour l'Amérique, London, nous avons tout bail, nous ni et docteur pour tirer. C'est ça que nous le faisons. Nous avons travaillé avec le ministère of Health et le cabinet pour toutes ces bails en place.
Il y a des informations importantes pour empêcher maladies comme pression et puis diabète.
Nous ne pouvons empêcher la maladie. Ça c'est important. Et le ministère de Health est clinique à toute communauté Dominique. Nous ne pouvons acheter information. Pas, nous ne pouvons dire nous sommes menés au local quand Titio apprend sur sugar, c'est par une force, toutes ces bails là, c'est sick. So, on ne peut pas manger jet, on ne peut pas jeter, on ne peut manager, manger, so pas malade. Mais information, c'est called health promotion. Nous avons travaillé avec le Ministry of Health et bien moi ça dit, fait ça.
Dr. Peters dit que moun n'est pour payer pour service l'hôpital.
Si vous ne pouvez pas payer, c'est là que nous avons tapé l'argent pour gagner une tablette. Nous n'est pour payer en type, sans nous payer sans nous.
Et de l'hôpital n'a équipement pour faire l'opération.
Nous avons équipement pour faire l'opération à ce moment. Nous sommes même pas en Amérique. Ça c'est bon bail. Pour moun pour occuper cancer nous endoscope pour nous aller vidéo de caméra pour ça qui fait. So nous avons beaucoup d'équipements. Nous avons docteurs qui ça sérieux. So ici nous parlons pour voyer moun Martinique et Barbados d'accord. So moun ni pour apprécier ce bail ça.
Ça, c'est tout à ce nous en créole. Nous, en temps cyclone, ça, c'est faire préparation bonnet, faire s'inquiéter au néon radio transistor pour une nouvelle, faire s'inquiéter document un bon côté. Ça, c'est tout à ce nouvelle en créole. Au revoir.
And that was Jano Jacob with the Creole News highlights. And now for your weather advisory, a relative reduction in moisture levels can be expected across Dominica during today as recently upgraded Hurricane Ernesto continues to move away from the Lesser Antilles. However, some moisture trailing the system could result in occasional cloudiness, scattered showers and a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms. An increase in Saharan dust concentration can be expected. People with respiratory sensitivities are advised to be on alert and to take the necessary precautions. Moderate seas can be expected in open water with waves expected to peak near 8 feet during today. A gradual reduction in wave height can be expected to continue into tonight. However, a small craft warning will remain in effect for above normal seas during today. Small craft operators are advised to exercise caution. Sea bathers are advised to stay out of the water as a result of breaking wave action on shore. For today's hurricane tip, if power fails, use your car radio or a portable transistor radio for reliable emergency information. Have extra batteries on hand and teach children which radio station to tune into for emergency information. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.